Why are you watching this? Have you not got anything better to do? This is probably the most boring guitar that you could possibly watch. It's a boring Burswood. I took the neck off in the hope that I would find something interesting to show you, but it's not. It's a cheap, boring Burswood guitar that has got no knob, different knob and another knob and a bent knob, and missing this and that and the other, and the neck needs done. But there's nothing exciting about this guitar at all. Its value brand new is £89, and in this state, actually I saw one of these for sale. It said they wanted £30, and then it said beside it, sold for £10. So there's nothing exciting on this, but keep watching if you wish, because I'm going to clean it up and get it working again, and hope. Well, I'll tell you what, let's listen to the electrics first of all to see what we've got in the way of electrics. As you can see, I don't have any enthusiasm for this guitar, but it's a guitar that must be fixed, because it's a guitar. Whoops, don't tell me the electrics. Middle pocket. Well, the pickups are working. Oh, hold on a second, I was wondering. Oh, that's better. I was going to say the pickups are very weak. Oh, that's jammed solid. That one there. Oh. Now I know why the knobs are stiff. Right, okay, the electrics are working, but these knobs you need to have arms of steel to turn them. So let's get the knobs off. The neck comes off. Let me see all the effort I put into the neck. This is going to be a quickie job. Not spending a lot of time on this at all. Well, I'm hoping not to spend a lot of time on it at all. With my, is this on automatic focus? It is. Better stay in focus because I get cross. You know my new head that I bought? I bought that new head. Crap. Because it just, you know, you put your neck on it and it falls over at the drop of a hat, and that's too low. So, right, okay, so I'm going back to my own homemade one, but I don't need it for this one. Right, that's gone, it's taken off. So let's get the knobs off first of all. Let's see, will that pull off? No, it won't. And it looks bent, the knob. Maybe it's just me. No, it's not. This one's got a screw in it. Hasn't it? Has it got a screw in it? No, it hasn't. So it's a pull-off one. Oh. Gosh. That's it. I may have replacements for that. If not, I'll use black knobs. I'm loath to use my silver ones because they can go on a nice guitar. And I'm sorry, guitar. It's just you have no redeeming features, and I'm sorry. And the back's got a cracked plate, as you see, and screws missing. And so I'm going to have to find a back plate for it, because I'm not going to fix this. I couldn't fix it anyway if I wanted to. So into that box. Right, what can I say nice about this guitar? Made in China. So what can I say nice about this guitar? Made in China doesn't mean to say it's nice. Right, it's 3 pieces of wood. Can't find anything at all about these guitars in the way of information about types of wood or anything like that there. It's probably made from old toilet bowls. Old wooden toilet seats. Look at the stains on them as well. Oh, how horrible. I was watching Ricky Gervais last night, and he is funny, I must admit. He just tells a story. There's no jokes or punchlines. He just tells a story, and I love that. And he's supreme confidence. Well, that's crap. That's shite. And they say in Northern Ireland, that's shite. So I've taken the bin out of the room. Right, okay, let's take this cover off too to see what the electrics is like. The wood's grain they haven't even tried to match it. I'm sorry to be such a moan on this one, but they haven't even tried to match the grain on this. it looks like 3 separate pieces of wood, maybe even 3 different types of wood. But I'll find something good about this guitar, don't you worry. I will find something good about it. It probably will play okay. The pickup sounded okay. Yeah, they're all, nothing's broken in there, and the wiring is acceptable. There's nothing to get excited about. Why in the guitars is there always this white crop? Why in all the guitars is always this white crop? Why? There's always something sticky looking or white looking in the bottom of it. Why? Why? Right, okay. So, there's nothing I'm going to do in there because the wiring's okay. I just thought I'd be looking at it. I thought you might want to look at it. Have a look. Put that back on again. Because I'm not going to go in there to do anything. Might even not even bother with the cover for that. Because I have black covers. I have 2 black covers that I could use, which may not fit. But I have 2 black covers that I could use, but I need them for another guitar, which is a better guitar than this. So we'll see. If I feel generous, I might just use one of them. If I don't feel generous, I might just put a white one on. How nasty would that be? How rude that would be of me. Did I show you what the main issue with the front is? Let me show you what the main issue with the front is, which you probably spotted, which I forgot to point out to you because I was so busy moaning about this. Do you see that? Look at that. Somebody's put a big sticker on it. Probably saying on it. Can you see where the light's shining there? They can see the big sticker. Somebody's put a big sticker on it. Probably said, "Don't buy this guitar, it's crap." So I've got lots of intonators. So let's try to get that big sticker thing off it. This is bent, but I'm only going to bend it with my hands, back and forth again. Check the screws are tight. I suppose what I could do is just use some of this WD-40 on it, and those switches are really in awful state, so they need to be soaked. And he'll be soaked up. This wood is fine. It's got the heavy gloss on it, so I didn't need to test it because, oh look, that's moving. Right, okay, so that wasn't as good as I thought it. Right, okay. And this one's been crushed in. But there, I just wonder if it could be because of the fact that they let's just try this WD-40 to clean this off, because it might help. It is taking some of it off, you see. WD-40. It's a good place, it's a good thing to clean with, you know, the WD-40. If you know the guitars can take it. I wouldn't do it on nitrocellulose painted guitars, that's for sure. You know why? Because I have done, and I paid the price for it. I had to respray the guitar. I think another thing that's prejudicing me against this guitar is the colour. This is never a colour that I like. These sunburst guitars, red and orange, never like them. Not even the Gibson ones. I prefer the plain colours. And so maybe I'm just prejudiced. I'm racially prejudiced against sunset colours. So I'm a racist. I hear you're a racist now, Father. Anybody know where that comes from? Hey, I think it's probably one of the best shows on TV ever. Father Ted. Father Ted tries on a lamp shade inside his own house, and he's talking to Father Dougal, and he puts on the lampshade and pretends to be a Chinese man, and makes the eyes and all that sort of thing, and does the voice and does a little dance. And guess what? He turns around and looks out to his own lounge window, and there's a family of Chinese people looking in with horrified faces. Just happened to be going past at that moment in time. even though Father Ted lives away up a lane and in a farmhouse where nobody goes near. There just happens to be a complete Chinese family walking past his door, and they go off in a huff, and he runs out after them, and they're gone. They just vanish, and there's no old man in a field pushing a horse and cart, and he looks at the father and says, "Father, hello, I hear you're a racist now." It's just the outrageousness of it, you know, and instantly he goes out the door. People are calling him a racist, and he lives in the middle of the country where there's nobody living, and automatically the word gets out that he's a racist. So obviously the antics from then onwards are great, you know. But he never wins, Father Ted. He never wins. The actor died fairly young for Father Ted too, unfortunately. And he was the perfect foil for Dougal. Dougal was the thickest chomp. And if you don't know what chomp is, it's bread, or so it's potatoes with leeks boiled. That's what chomp is. So Dougal was the thickest chomp. He wasn't a very clever person, you know. And he'd be the foil for Father Ted, who thought he was clever. Father Ted thought he was clever and had all these schemes, and they never worked out. They never worked out. So that's cleaned off that fairly well. I just needed now another little cloth. I don't even know if I'll publish this video. This is just me rambling, talking about Father Ted and things that I like. Father Ted and Mrs. Doyle. Mrs. Doyle was the housemaid for Father Ted. If you remember, she was the ugliest woman on this planet. She had the face that you could slap because she was so ugly. But she made a great cup of tea, and she kept saying to Father Ted or any of his guests, "Would you like a cup of tea? Would you like a cup of tea? Go on, sure, you'll have a cup of tea. You'll have a cup of tea. You'll have a cup of, you'll have a cup of tea." And so they'd say eventually, "Yes, we'll have a cup of tea. And a wee sandwich, or a sandwich. You'll have a sandwich." "Oh, yes, 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 Mrs. Doyle, we'll have one of your sandwiches, fine." And the next thing you know, she brings out a trolley full of sandwiches that would feed the whole town, and she stands over them as they drink and eat. I know it's not funny to hear, but it's just the outrageousness of it all. It just, you know. Anyway, and the same chappie, which I'm repeating myself, the same chappie wrote The IT Crowd, and I'm actually surprised a lot of people haven't heard of the IT Crowd, but the IT Crowd is hilarious. It's the same sort of thing about a bunch of people down in the basement of a big tower block, and they're the IT crowd. And they have their phone wired up in such a way that it automatically answers and says, "Hello, have you tried switching it off and turning it back on again?" Automatically. "Are you sure? Okay then. Goodbye." Because nearly every issue is turn your computer, which is true. Turning the computer off and on usually does fix a lot of evils. That looks a lot better, doesn't it? Look at that there. It's not the world's ugliest guitar. Maybe by the time I've finished it, it'll be worth £20. Okay, so I need to find some. I need to find some intonators and things because they didn't come with it, and I think I might have some. So we'll see. I bought bamboo ones of these, right? But could you imagine if somebody's sticking that in their ear when they shouldn't be, of course, blah, blah, blah. But can you imagine the cotton ones don't do that. But these ones do split. And some people do stick these in their ear, because I do. But I'm careful not to press too hard. I suppose everybody else would be, but that's pretty dangerous. Right, pause, because, no, not quite pause yet. I want to get in there too. I'm going to go and find some intonators as soon as I get the dust out of this place in here. Maybe this guitar could be blinged up in some way, but I don't know. It's pretty enough. Why am I so negative about this guitar? Answer me that. Answer me that. Why am I not positive about this guitar? Maybe I'll change my tune. Ha! Tune, get it? Change. Is this? Are these going any softer? Oh, they have gone a little bit better. That one has. Yes, that one has too. I can't tell on that one because it's maybe a bit, maybe a bit. But it doesn't matter as long as it's not crackling. So I need 3 knobs. I go into my storeroom, which is now my storeroom. Okay, I got me box of intonators, strings, and all sorts of little things in there. Going to be good enough though. Right, okay, and so what knobs will we put on? What knobs will we put on? Let's have a look at our box of knobs. That's good enough for me. Not good enough for you? It's good enough for me. Okay. So I never liked these. These are the top hat ones, you know, the top hat ones. And black can look so cheap at times. This is a really old top hat one. But black can look so cheap. That's not so bad, but that's a different one again. But it's done a little bit more refined looking. It looks a little bit better. But some knobs really can look cheap. Anyway, c'est la vie. That's what we got. We got everything we need. So rather than bore you to tears, I'm going to take those off and take them away and separately clean them. And I'll come back to you when I've scraped the paint off. I got a feeling I'll have to use a bone or something like that there. Yeah, they're coming off my fingernail, but I don't want to wreck my fingernails. So there we are, looking nice and pretty. All the intonators were fine. I actually managed to find another little tiny spring. One of the screws was missing, one of the Allen keys. I still have to set the intonation. Fortunately, one of my other clients, customers, because I don't get any money, but clients gave me a whammy bar, so that worked well for this, and that'll do. Now, that's this guitar's, and I do have another one here. Somebody's cut out something for the strings, but it just happens to fit, so I'm going to let it fit there. I'm not going to show you fitting that because I have to take off the whammy bar and do another drilling. So what I'm going to do now is put that to the side and start work on the neck. The neck is going to get short shift. It's going to get a very quick, clean, tidy up, fret leveling, and see if it's straight. So let's just do that now. Oh, look at it. Let me close the window blind because it gives a better light for the camera. Right, okay. So let's have a look at it now to see what we got in the way of straightness. I prefer to do the straightness when it's on the guitar because then it's easier to... Or have I already done this already? Oh, actually, that's perfectly straight. Can you see there? No, maybe I've done this. Am I repeating myself? Anyway, that's perfectly straight. No problems there. It needs a clean up, but let's just check fret leveling. And from there on down, I'm not worried about it. So let's just get this. It's a very clean fretboard. Hasn't been oiled. It's got a little bit of rust down there. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a... What am I going to use? 600 first, just to give it a clean. truss rod cover. And we have no nuts, so I'm going to have to search for a nut. I was given half a guitar. Fortunately, it all is good for the Assisi's. Giving a little bit of money to Assisi's, all my clients do. And it all helps. What this is an hour's work, fine, that's great. And Assisi gets some money. And I don't really mind. This guitar is not as bad as what I said it was. It's just nothing exciting in it. And if you're still watching it, you're a glutton for punishment. But there you go. You're a glutton for punishment if you just heard that. Because you're obviously still watching it, unless you skip to this. And then you're not just a gluttony punishment. What? He's talking to himself. Right, so he's going to get a bit of oil. Okay, it's growing on me a little bit, you know. I've got the back on. I had a black plate. Somebody had cut 2 holes in it for the springs. It almost looks stylish, but it's better than a white plate. So that's it on. This is all fingerprints, but we'll do that at the end whenever we're finished. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that's it all ready to rock and roll. Just the neck to be done now, which is, well, should I say, it's already done. And everything's ready and tightened up. I've put a new nut on because there wasn't one, and the frets are done. So all I'm going to do now is put the neck on, and then I'm going to put the strings on. That's a very tight fitting neck, I tell you. Oh yeah, yes. I wonder why there's holes there. See there's a hole there? I don't know what that's for. Somebody had a plan there. Okay, that's it tight. But it's not in the right place still yet. That's better. Yeah, that's alright. Sorry, was I talking away and you can see nothing? You can see nothing? Let's just hope it's in the right place now. Come on. Don't use electric tools near your guitars, boys and girls. Don't do as I do. Do as I say. Right. Now, I think maybe the best thing to do is to give it a bit of a tidy up and see, get rid of all the boxes that I had to bring out of hiding, because I had to find one black screw for the back. I had to find a plate. I had to find a nut, so I brought up a nut box, a screw plate. I had to find the knob, so I brought up the knob box. Had to get the Allen keys out. And then, have I got 2 screw boxes? No. Yeah, that's not the screw box. That's the intonator parts, and that's the screw box. But I'm so glad that I've got them now all in little boxes. Much handier. So the next thing to do now is to speed through getting the strings on and getting a sound out of this. Let's just check where the intonators land whenever I put this straight edge on them. Let's just see what I got. Put a straight edge on, see where the intonators land. They're a bit high. Right, they're a bit high, the intonators, okay. Well, depends now. And the next, perfectly straight, 100% straight. So, okay. So let's put a set of strings on this, get it cleaned up, and then get it back home to Daddy. Yeah, and that's going to have to come down, and that's going to have to come down. The intonators, the saddle part of the intonator is going to have to come downwards if we want to get a decent action on the guitar. Hello, Georgie girl. Do you want cuddles? Georgie girl wants cuddles. Sorry, peeps. Well, that was the shortest cuddle ever. Up and down again. You know, I keep on saying you can make any guitar sound great and look good and play well, and that's true. And this guitar just does not turn me on, but it's alright. It's not bad. Maybe it's just me more than the guitar. Oh, Georgie girl, you want the cuddle early? Oh, there she's climbing up on me. She wants that cuddle, so she's getting that cuddle again. Oh, for goodness sake, I forgot to press the button. I've just filed them all down and got them into position, but I forgot to press the button. I was going to speed it up. Anyway, what I'm doing now is bringing the intonators down to the right level. Sorry about that. What I've done is I brought these ones down to where I want them with my little Japanese nut saws, and I'm now bringing down the saddle, as they call it, on the intonators down to an acceptable height, and then I'll set it even better to get the curvature of the neck in a few minutes. Pretty good. Alright, I'm going to pause for tonight. Tomorrow we'll get back to it. Okay, I'm starting to like this guitar now. Strange as it may sound. I'm starting to like it. I wasn't really that much into it whenever it started. Turn that light off there. But it's growing on me. It's got a lovely sound. Nice pickups on it. So I'm going to get it tuned now and get intonated. No, it's just the G that's giving me the problem. Let me just raise that up. Oh, do you know what I just heard there? I heard some movement in the tone whenever I lifted the guitar up, which tells me that something I don't like happening. I'll have to check that jack plug again. Well, here you are with the Burswood. I sort of like it. I'm not what you would call a great fan of it. It'd be a good beginner's guitar, and it looks good. It's been fixed up now. As you can see the back, I've put a black plate on it. It's pretty good. There's some things about it I'm not particularly fussy on. Let me check my tuning. Georgie girl, hello. Couple of things I'm not fussy on. We'll try to work around Georgie girl. Is there's not much power in the A string. Less in the back pickup and less in the front. Most of the power in the E string is in the middle pickup, and I have the pickup pretty high at the E, so I've raised them, you know, so it's bass heavy. Georgie girl, please move. And the other thing I didn't like is I couldn't get the intonation the way I liked it. It's close, very close, but that I can't fix. That there, G, and on that one it should be a G, F sharp. Can't figure that out. I just can't figure that out at all. I had to raise the strings up, but the action's not bad, but it sounds okay. Great learner guitar, I think. It'll be a good one. The other thing I would probably do if this was my guitar, I would change the tuners to a better ratio, because you turn it just a little bit and the string goes wing. So I would think I would reduce the ratio, make it easier to tune, you know. It's a nice-ish guitar. I've lowered the nut down as much as I possibly can to give it easy fingering up here. That doesn't sound right, does it? Does it? That should be an E, which it is. That should be a C, which it is. That should be an A, which is a G sharp. What am I doing wrong? And that's supposed to be a B flat, but it's an A. What am I doing wrong? That's an E, yes. A. A G. All right. Tell me what I'm doing wrong here. What am I doing wrong? The G chord. I figured it out. I figured it out. I figured it out. I figured it out. Right. That's not the G that I'm hearing. I've lowered the string too much and I'm hearing the first fret. So that's what the problem is. I need to raise that because I've lowered it too much. So I'm going to do that and come back to you. Right, I fixed that. For those of you who want to know, when I filed it down too low with my new file, all I did was get a piece of bone nut and I filed away some bone nut and put it on the fretboard. Then I put a drop of super glue in there, and then I scattered the bone nut into the super glue, and it hardens instantly, and it brings it up, and then you file it down again. So it's pretty straightforward, and that's fixed this problem too with the G being out of intonation. So I'm pretty sure we've got a nice sort of, let's just check the tune. Flat. That's better. Now, if this was my guitar, I'd block off the trem arm, because it's no good for a guitar like this, because it puts it out of tune too easily. The other thing I'm going to do before I finish, I'm going to tighten up the screws on those really tight so that they don't lose tuning. And the final thing I'm going to do is what? Oh, got to play you a tune. So everything's doing nicely now. Good learner guitar, looks fun. Got a nice trem arm on it for those who want a bit of fun. But I'm not a fan of it. Doesn't sound right. Maybe it is all right. Maybe it's just my hearing. I'm looking for things that are wrong with it. Let's just go through it again. Check the tuning. Tuning's gone again. That's because I used that. That's the other thing I have to do. I have to fix that. It shouldn't be a big job. I think it's more or less dirt. I'm going to tighten these down and block off the trem arm a bit, because it's knocking out of tune too much. Let's hope I don't break a string doing it, because I'm doing it the lazy way. And especially the E string, it's the one that would break the quickest. I think I got away with it. So there you are. Not fussy on this guitar at all. That should be a G, but it's sharp. Sharp now with E, went sharp. That's a little bit sharp. A. That's okay. A little bit sharp on those. So the frets are not great on this. Again, I'm being extra fussy because I don't like slightly sharp in the A. Flat on the F. Again, I have to keep talking myself into it. It's a learner guitar. Okay, it's going home to Daddy. I'm going to fix that, and I'm going to tighten up those screws, and then it's going home to Daddy. Say goodbye to it. Whoa, you're reminding me, I know I've got to tighten you up. I'm going to do that now. There you go, that's that tightened up. It needed to be cleaned, and the nut was loose, missed that. And I've tightened those up to make them quite tight to turn. So there you go, it's going home. Let me just give that another twist. That's it, it's going home. Say goodbye to it. I think it's out of tune now, that's why I'm not playing your tune. Oh, it's not too bad. All right, it's going home, goodbye. I think it's goodbye, I hope it's goodbye. Two minds about this guitar.